Good morning, everyone. It's Sal Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's calm. And you know what? It is a very important day today, of course. Nerve-wracking day. Our season hinges on it. This is where it is. Our season is defined by tonight. What happens tonight is how we treat the rest of the season. We get knocked out tonight. You know what? It's over. The season's over, guys. I mean, it's like a glorified preseason, extended preseason. That's what it's like at the end of the day. So Man United really do need to win this game tonight, guys. We really need to take the game by the scruff of the neck and start this game well and put them to the sword and knock out Real Sociedad, because this is our only hope. In fact, this is a great game in regards to our history. This is the biggest game we've had in ages. Since the FA Cup, it is our biggest game. Historically wise, if we don't win this game, it will have a knock-on effect to what happens in the summer, our transfer wish list, etc. So obviously already there are the excuses piling out from Omar Barada, etc., about how we don't have any money to spend. You know, we're going to have to take it easy in the transfer market and stuff like that. So if we don't qualify for Europe, this is another arrow to their bow. They will be, using that excuse. We're not in Europe, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Obviously, it'd be down to them as well, because they didn't do much business in January. We did say that, and I'm not going to forget that they didn't do any business in January, apart from Dorgu, but got rid of 3 players in the process, of course, guys. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that, let me get through some of your channels. Absolutely. Redwood Tower, the legend. What's going on, my friend? Like and subscribe, support the channel, become a member, drop a chat. Thank you so much, Redwood Tower. Absolutely. Boo Boo, yes, a massive game today. Let's bring it home. Come on, let's bring it home. Massive game today. We are in the vibe today. It is all about the game tonight, guys. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. Barca Days, missed you on the show last night. You wasn't live. Bet you upset a few. I don't know about that. I think I probably gave a few people a break. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But thank you anyway. Big up, big up. UK Rap. A like society, drop super chats, memberships on 140 channel. Thank you so much, UK Rap. Salute, Tyboard, the legend. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Huge game today. If we don't win, the season is over, but I predict a 2-0 win. Please, please, please. I predict a win. Yesterday, I predicted a 3-1 win for Man United. Maybe a little bit overly confident, but you know what? My biggest concern is that they got Zubimendi back. That is a big plus for them, of course. But Man United got Ugarte back. So, you know what? I just feel like Man United should win this game tonight. And if we don't win this game tonight, we really don't need to go any further, do we? To be honest, we don't deserve to go any further. But I really do hope we win this game tonight, because I do not want this season to be over. At least if we get to the next round, we prolong the season. You know, we're still fighting for something. We can still keep it competitive. We can still play certain players in the league. You know, so we can train up for the Europa League. And you know what? We'll be playing the likes of Lyon in the quarterfinal, which I don't think is the hardest game in the world, guys. We have harder games in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Baz, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, good to see you. Morning, South. Big up. It's DJ Buzzy. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing. It's DJ Buzzy. Big up. DJ Buzzy on the decks. Big up yourself. We'll win tonight. I have a good feeling about it. Me too. DJ Buzzy, me too. I have a good feeling about it too, my friend. I do have a good feeling about this game. A lot of people are being a little bit pessimistic about it. It is a nerve-wracking game. I ain't gonna lie. I'm more nervous about this game than I've been at any game in this season. You know, I'm more nervous about this game than anything, because this would define not only this season, this would define next season. Because if we're in the Champions League next season, we will attract players in the summer, more caliber of players in the summer. And I don't want them to use, INEOS using that same old excuse. Oh, you know what? We got no European football. We got no European football. So, we're going to have to do cutbacks and you have to face reality. We have to face reality. This is what they do. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hear anything of that, of course, in the summer. Ugarte plays Casemiro and Bruno. Could be, yeah, could be. At the end of the day, would you play a double pivot? Would you move Bruno up to the number 10 position? What would you do? I'm not sure about Bruno in that number 8 position. I'm just not sure about it. I think it just leaves a little bit too much space. But who knows what's going to happen? We're going to have to wait and see, of course. Mason Mount is more nerve-wracking than tonight's game. Mason Mount's not going to play tonight. He's not ready. He's not match fit. I mean, Ruben Amorim is very keen and very, very hard on basically match fitness. Obviously, that is a big thing. You could be fit, but you won't be match fit. You won't be at that level. So Mason Mount, look, this is no criticism this is no criticism to Mason Mount. What I would say about Mason Mount, on his day, he's a very good player. But on his day is another story, because on his day, he's the player of the year at Chelsea, which he was. But, you know, his injury record is ridiculous. And I don't think we can carry the injuries that he has. If he gets fit, if he can play for the rest of the season, it's a plus for Man United, because we ain't got a squad. We got no players, especially in the attacking area. We got nobody at the end of the day. It was confirmed by Ruben Amorim yesterday that we will have no Euro and we'll have no Maguire. So who would you play in that defensive partnership? We're going to have Dalot. I would play Heaven. I would play Heaven in that left-sided centre-back, of course, guys. That's what I would play. And I did predict it yesterday, of course, that we wouldn't have Maguire and we wouldn't have Euro. And that is come to the fore. That's disappointing, to be honest, of course. Buzzy, I'm not sure about Bruno at 8, but we don't have Kobe back yet. Yeah, I mean, we can play a double pivot and we can move Bruno forward. I mean, it's good to have that problem, isn't it? It's good to have that issue. It's good to have players that we can rotate. Because at the moment, you know, players are coming back now, and that is good for Man United, because we've got 16, 17-year-olds on the bench, and that's not sustainable, you know, especially when you're playing in Europe. The likes of an experienced side like Real Sociedad, we need to be ready. Of course, we need to be ready, and hopefully tonight we are ready for this game. I would, however, play Aiden Heaven in that defense, definitely. Shailan, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Mount will suffer a setback in training. Yeah, Mount will have a breeze of wind will blow his direction and he'll be out for another couple of months. That is what's going to happen to Mason Mount at the end of the day. If that happens, guys, look, we need to think about removing these players anyway. But if that happens, if he gets injured again, then we do. It is confirmed. We need to move him out of the football club. We need to move it out. Get out of here. Absolutely. DJ Buzzy in the deck. Sure, your joke. Absolutely. Imagine that. Mount is back. He's not fit. GK, he's not match fit. If you watched the press conference yesterday, there's a difference between being fit and match fit. There's a little bit of difference in that. Tyborg, never mind the age. Heaven is ready for first team football. I agree, Tyborg. As people saw yesterday, I did pick my lineup yesterday. I did pick it, of course, and guys, if you watched the show yesterday, I wasn't live yesterday, but I did drop a show yesterday, and this is the lineup that I picked yesterday on the match preview, of course. Which, you know what, you can have your arguments about it. I've changed my mind, guys. I've changed my mind. I think I will play Mazraoui rather than Lindelof. So I forgot about Mazraoui, so I'll play Mazraoui rather than Lindelof in that team. But something similar along those lines. I mean, I'm not Mystic Meg. I don't know what Ruben Amorim is thinking, but you know what? Along the lines of something like that, in my opinion, I would go. I think it's going to happen, but there might be some tweaks here and there. Of course, guys, absolutely. Revert 7, good morning. How you doing? I'm not getting my hopes up with any amount anymore, to be honest. Big game tonight. Let's go. Come on, Revert 7. Massive game tonight, guys. We really have to give that energy, show that energy and that passion. Hopefully the players can show as much energy and passion as us, because we're going to be ready for this game. We're ready for this game. We're going to go into that crunching tackle, you know what I mean? Digitally. Of course, guys, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to build up, let the energy resonate and that positive energy resonate, and we're going to win this game tonight. And you know what? We win this game tonight, I think we're going to win it. I think we're going to win the Europa League, guys. Absolutely. Arsenal are through. Of course, they're going to go through against PSV. They were 7-1 up anyway, but they will play Real Madrid. Arsenal fans are getting a little bit confident. I don't fear Real Madrid. Of course you don't fear Real Madrid, Arsenal fans. I mean, you have such a fantastic European pedigree, don't you, Arsenal fans? I mean, you've won so many Champions League titles. I mean, I cannot fathom how you'll be scared of Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're so arrogant and delusional, Arsenal fans. One Arsenal fan came up to me yesterday and he said, why are people so bitter about Arsenal? He said, why are people so bitter about Arsenal? I said, nobody's bitter about you, bruv. I said, nobody is bitter about Arsenal. You do it to yourself, you do. And that's what really is. You do it to yourself, just you. That is what it is at the end of the day. You do it to yourself at the end of Radiohead. You do it to yourself, right? And to be honest with you, they give us a reason to dislike them. It's nothing to do with Arsenal Football Club. It's you. I told them it's you. You're arrogant. You've got the ego. They've got the ego of Real Madrid, but the actual footballing performance of Ipswich Town or Everton. So they just need to hush. Absolutely. DJ Buzzy, I will play Heaven 2, but Dorgu is front of him, so I don't think Ruben would go. I think Ruben would go as DJ Buzzy, you make a good point. I agree with that. I don't think Ruben Amorim will go with Heaven. As much as we want Ruben Heaven, you make a good point there. I don't think that he will play Heaven and Dorgu together. I think Lindelof will play. I think it will be. This is why I picked him in my team. I think it'll be realistically, guys, when we're feeling recently and we remove our heart away from it at the moment, he's going to play Lindelof, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go with experience, and you can't blame him for that, isn't it? I mean, if Heaven comes in and makes a mistake, but I would play Heaven. I would play Heaven. I would risk it because I think that with Heaven, what I saw against Arsenal at the weekend, he can bring that ball forward. He can collaborate with Dorgu, and we can build something for the future. But I think he's going to play Lindelof, Mazraoui, and De Ligt in that defense, of course. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Absolutely. Good morning. Hi, Sal. How are you? We should play every Europa match as a final. Come on, United. Big up, Leeson. This is what it's all about, my friend. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I will play Maz on the right. Yeah, DJ, right. Maz has to play. I think Maz has been brilliant. And you know what? His performance has gone a little bit here and there recently, but against Arsenal, he was fantastic again, of course. Shah. We must not concede at first, otherwise our head would drop. Absolutely. Just like when we conceded the penalty against Sociedad. This is the problem with Man United. This is you make a good point, guys. You make a good worry about what could happen tonight. Because anything is possible. What can happen tonight? Man United could concede first. And you know what was important for Man United is not to let our heads drop. As you said, in the first leg, we did let our heads drop, which wasn't good. It wasn't good. Real Sociedad never had a sniff until that penalty. They never had a chance until that penalty. As soon as that penalty went in, our heads dropped, and Real Madrid, in truth, could have won the game. If it wasn't for a couple of brilliant saves from Onana, I never thought I'd say that, but if it wasn't for a couple of great saves from Onana, we probably would be lost the game 2 or 3-1. It is character, mentality. That's what we lack at the moment. And you know what? We need characters tonight. We need personality tonight. We really do. Absolutely. DJ, Arsenal babies will lose to Real Madrid. Look, DJ Buzzy, you know what? Look, if there's one team, obviously Liverpool, but Liverpool won it 6 times, so I'm not too bothered. But if the one team I don't want to win the Champions League, right, it's Arsenal. And not because of Arsenal Football Club, right? Arsenal Football Club are a great football club, right? Produced some great players over the years, right? It's because of the fans. The fans are absolutely obnoxious, arrogant, delusional maniacs, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, they're too confident against Real Madrid. Why don't they come out on a humble one? If it was Man United, let's say Man United win the Champions League, right? Man United draw Real Madrid in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. I wouldn't be going out there and saying I'm confident. I don't fear Real Madrid. Why would you say some nonsense like that? The most successful team in Europe since history began. Do you know why would you say some nonsense like that? You know, and that just tells me that they're very arrogant. You know, they're very delusional. No matter what, they need to concentrate on beating the likes of, you know what I mean, Ipswich and Crystal Palace and teams like that before they can start mouthing off about Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? They need to concentrate on beating Man United, right? They need to concentrate on beating Man United when we had 10 men. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So there you go. And we're playing against 12 because the referee was against us as well. That's what they need to concentrate on. They don't need to concentrate on Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Because Real Madrid on a bad day will beat Arsenal. On a bad day will beat Arsenal. Real City looked average last week and struggled in the weekend. They are there for the take. I hope so, Revert 7. Fingers crossed we get the job done. I really hope so. That happens, of course, Revert 7. I am praying that Man United go through tonight. Of course, I'm praying, of course, that Man United go through tonight. Also, no red cards, please. More technical and focus on the score first. We'll be fine. Absolutely. No silly challenges. No stupid free kicks. We don't need to do that. Absolutely, DJ Buzzy. DJ Buzzy's on fire tonight. DJ on the decks. Absolutely. He's on fire. Look, you know, I absolutely agree with you. We can't be getting any suspensions. I mean, I need to look who's on the yellow card at the moment because we might be doomed if we get some suspensions, you know, and that could be the difference. I never believed in the 2 yellow card rule that you miss the next game. I think that's ridiculous. You know, and I think it should be cancelled out after the group stage, but obviously it's not. So we're gonna have to be very, very careful tonight, of course. Absolutely. Really, Arsenal fans are not, they're bloody annoying, mate. What I've heard, what I've seen this last few hours since Arsenal got through against PSV, right? What I've heard and what I've seen. Look, listen, guys, I would much rather play PSV Eindhoven than Real Sociedad. right? Let me tell you that, right? And you know what? Let me tell you something. I would much rather play PSV Eindhoven than Olympique Lyonnais in the quarterfinal as well. Let me tell you that. Right. So at the end of the day, they're delusional. They're jumping the gun. PSV are a young team. They're not that good. You know what I mean? They're a decent Dutch team. And that's about it at the end of the day. I would say they're equivalent of a championship team in England. And that's no disrespect, right? But they are. And they're jumping above, way and above, saying that like they just knocked out bloody Barcelona. You know what I mean? That's what Arsenal fans are acting like. We're knocked out by only Man United knock out Barcelona. Arsenal don't beat teams like Barcelona. Man United knock out teams like PSG. You know what I mean? Liverpool, take note. Man United knock out teams like PSG. Even on our worst day, we've beaten PSG twice in the Parc de France. We've beaten them twice in the Parc de France over the last few years. At the end of the day, PSG hate us because we got their number. We know how to beat PSG. Some teams don't know how to beat PSG, of course. DJ Buzzy, the fans are so delusional. That's why them babies winning 9-3 on aggregate against PSV. They think they can beat Real Madrid. They're so annoying. I know. And you know, I don't usually like to bring them into it, but they like to bring Man United into it. Look, when we got knocked out against Fulham in the FA Cup, right? They were the only fans, right? They were the only fans that were giving it large. They were the only fans that were trying to banter Man United. It was Arsenal fans. I didn't see Liverpool fans. I didn't see Chelsea fans. I didn't see anyone. It was Arsenal fans when we just knocked them out of the FA Cup with 10 men. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. And I take it back as well because I'm from London. I raised in London, and I remember 90s football. I was a teenager in the 90s. Do you know what I mean? So I remember 90s football, and I know what Arsenal fans are like when they actually win things, when they win Premier League titles and things like that. And I know how obnoxious, how annoying they are, to be honest with you. Good morning, Rasta. What's going on? Real Madrid going to cook them? I hope so, Rasta. I really do. I think so as well. Absolutely. Inshallah, it will happen. We win. Inshallah, Rasta. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vinicius humbled at the moment. Vinicius Jr. What happened to Vinicius Jr.? Look, one thing I know about the game yesterday, that there was a controversial penalty that had to be that was apparently kicked twice. So what I don't understand is that why couldn't he retake the penalty? And when you look at the one thing I would argue, when you look at Real Madrid's success over the last, I say, since I've been around anyway, they have had these little decisions here and there, these little decisions that have gone their way, haven't they? You know, if we were playing Real Madrid and we were in a penalty shootout, right? And we lost the penalty shootout like that, what would you think? How would you feel? Would you be angry? You'd be fuming, wouldn't you? You'd be fuming. I just personally think they didn't want Atletico to go through. I just think that. I just think that they didn't want Atletico to go through. Real Madrid is their baby. It's their darling. And they want Real Madrid to win it for God knows how many times they've won it, to be honest with you. 16, I think. A lot of Arsenal fans speak absolute nonsense like they won it 50. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. They need to humble themselves. And let me tell you, look, anything is possible in football. I understand that. Aston Villa could win the Champions League, guys. You know, someone told me today, said, oh, Aston Villa are going to get cooked against PSG. How do you know that? I've heard all season about how Man United are going to get cooked against Man City, how Man United are going to get cooked against Chelsea, how Man United are going to get cooked against Liverpool, how Man United are going to get cooked against Arsenal. We never got cooked against any of them. We beat them. And we went toe-to-toe at Liverpool at Anfield. So, you know, football doesn't deal with absolutes. Football is not as simple, straightforward 1, 2, 3. Certain games fit certain teams. And certain games you could win. Certain games you could lose. You know what I mean? But you could, look, guys, you could lose a game against Everton and go and beat Arsenal. And that is how football is. You know what I mean? Football doesn't work like that. And I'm trying to explain to people, Aston Villa can knock out PSG. They can. Why not? Why not? At the end of the day, Aston Villa can compete in the French league for the title. You know what I mean? If we're being honest with you. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, you know what? Who knows what's going to happen? Just like the Real Madrid game, who knows what's going to happen? But one thing I wouldn't do, if it was us, and it's not, I know it's not us, but if it was us, I would humble myself a little bit. If we haven't won a European trophy in many, many years, I would humble myself a little bit. Sure, Arsenal is like watching Netflix. Absolutely. Big up Patrice Evra. Absolutely. Classic quote. Classic quote, of course. Absolutely. I'm sick and tired of talking. Invincible. We're invisible. We're invisible. We're invisible. T.I. Big up Ty, by the way. We're invisible. Invisible, more like the Champions League trophy. Your name is not on there unless it's invisible, mate. Absolutely. Why don't we have a golden Champions League? We won 2 Champions League unbeaten. Why don't we have a golden Champions League? They just make up any trophy just to suit Arsenal, to make them happy. You know what I mean? Hey, you drew 16 games, mate. Calm your tits at the end of the day. For goodness sake, you haven't won nothing. You got knocked out by Chelsea in the European trophy in that season. And you got knocked out against Man United in the FA Cup in that season. So calm your tits. That's all I say. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Invisible at the end of the day. They were trophyless again this season. Yeah, Man United will have more trophies this season than them. We'll win the Europa League, guys. Absolutely. Yes, what's the rule with the penalty? I like Real Madrid, but damn, he barely touched the ball. It's not fair. It's not clear and obvious, and it should have been retaken. Apparently, the rule is if you do touch it twice, you lose. It's a miss. It's counted as a miss. This is what I'm being told. It's the first time I've heard this, guys. For goodness sake, it's like being pulled over by the police. Do you know what I mean? And they've section blah, 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 blah. Why am I pulled up, sir? Section blah, 1,765 rule. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah, it's ridiculous at the end. They make up rules for us. They make up rules for Real Madrid, honestly. Why can't the player retake the penalty kick when they get... Because they treat it like a miss. Absolutely, GJ. They treat it like a miss. It's ridiculous, isn't it, to be honest with you? Because if the goalkeeper went off his line, or, they would retake the penalty. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. It's a bit crazy, isn't it, at the end of the day? Tell Arsenal fans I know what it's like to win the European trophies. You don't. I've seen 2 European Cups, guys. I've seen 2 Champions League titles. I've seen a Europa League title. I've seen a World Club Championship. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've seen a Cup Winners' Cup. Beat that. Do you know what I mean? You can't beat us at the end of the day. You know what I mean? The only European trophy I remember Arsenal winning doesn't exist anymore. Sal, out of topic question. Is there any United manager you regret sacking from the last 12 years? Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. I don't regret anything, but I think Jose Mourinho should have been given them back. He should have been back. After Jose Mourinho came second and won the Europa League and won the League Cup, I think we should have backed him full on. That's what I think should happen. Unfortunately, during that time, there was a lot of blame on the manager. And again, people weren't inclined to blame the players. They were blaming the manager. They weren't blaming the players again. And it's something similar to what's happening right now, isn't it? Blaming the manager again. Certain quarters are blaming the manager again. It's ridiculous. Double touch happened. Nah, yeah. Yeah. And it counted, didn't it, SGK? Look, at the end of the day, it had to be microscopic to see it. And even then, it was debatable. Even then, it was debatable. It had to be microscopic to see it. It was unfair. For some reason, I think Rasmus will score tonight, DJ Buzzy, unless you're in another country, of course. It is tomorrow for me. Actually, it's on at midnight. So technically it's tomorrow, but it's today midnight for me. So I will be doing a watch along later, of course, guys. Absolutely. You know what? A late one for me again, of course. Hope you guys can join me. I was waiting for sure. Sal, David Moyes was a mistake. Yeah, David Moyes was a big mistake. Absolutely. David Moyes was a big mistake, guys. Now, a little bit of news coming out of Manchester United. I know it is. I know, but I have to report this. Manchester United look like they're in pole position to sign Rosario Central Argentinian player Juan Giménez. Now, Juan Giménez is an 18-year-old. His contract actually expires this summer, guys. So basically, his contract runs out in December the 31st, 2025. But Man United could quite possibly strike a deal for Juan Giménez for almost free transfer. 2.5 million euros, guys. So this has captured the imagination of INEOS, and Man United are looking to sign Juan Giménez. They do face competition from the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool, but Man United are in pole position to sign the Argentinian under-20 international, of course, guys. When you look at Juan Giménez, he is a right footer, he is a centre-back, and he can also play as a defensive midfielder, guys. So that is something that is really, really key, that he is versatile as well. We can get him for about 2.5 billion euros in the summer, but if we want to wait until his contract expires, it's on December the 31st, and Man United could quite possibly get Juan Giménez for a measly price, of course, guys. Well, there's no measly price in regards to INEOS, because you know what INEOS are like. Money's too tight to mention. Simply Red, of course, guys. So that is what they are at the end of the day. Rosario Central centre-back, Juan Jimenez. Something to look out for, of course, guys. Another player, Argentinian player. And as I said, Manchester United are exploring the South American market at the moment. We are looking at Argentina. We've obviously signed Diego Leon as well, of course, who's going to be coming next season, of course. So Man United are looking for bargains, right? Bargains and players that, you know what, you can get more value for your money than you would do in Europe, for example. Now, Manchester United are interested in Argentinos Juniors player Tobias Ramirez. Now, Tobias Ramirez is another under-20 international for Argentina. He's only 18 again, another one. And I like this mentality. I do like this because I know about South American players and South American market. And I know that you can get more for your buck for them than you would do in Europe. So Tobias Ramirez is another player that Manchester United are heavily interested in, of course. He would only set you back 4.5 million euros, possibly will be about 10 million euros given the Man United tax. But 10 million euros is in the grand scheme of things is not that much. This is why I'm saying that we will buy players in the summer. It might not necessarily be the player that you expect it to be, but Man United will be scouting for the next big thing. This is what they're doing at the moment. This is their plan going forward, that Man United are doing deals with the likes of Argentinos Juniors, with the likes of Rosario Central, of course, and teams like that of that nature. Tobias Ramirez's contract expires in 2028, guys. And the thing is, he can play. He is a centre-back, right-sided centre-back. Man United are going to need a right-sided centre-back. Lindelof's leaving and Evans is leaving, of course, guys. So we have to look at that. Finally, in regards to transfers, Manchester United are heavily linked with the Juventus player Dusan Vlahovic to solve their striking crisis. Dusan Vlahovic, of course, he's been around for a very long time. His contract runs out in 2026. He's a Juve player, centre forward, of course, Serbian international, 32 caps, 13 goals. The problem is his starting value is around 60 million euros, guys. 60 million euros. So this player is a very good striker. Would he be my first choice? Probably not. But he's a striker that is prolific, scores a lot of goals, and to be honest with you, would upgrade our striking options. He is 25. He is 25. So he is experienced. He has played in Europe. He's played for Juve for a few years now. So that is another one we should be looking at. Dusan Vlahovic has been on Man United's radar for a long time. He's been on Man United's wish list for a long time, and Man United have been linked with Dusan Vlahovic in the past. Unfortunately, it hasn't come to fruition. Man United have had their eggs in other baskets in regards to other players, of course, like that. But a position that Man United are desperately looking to improve in the summer is the striking area. So Dusan Vlahovic, the 25-year-old Serbian who plays for Juventus, contract expires in 2026. So quite possibly we can get him at the lower market rate, hopefully, because his contract expires in 1 year. So another one we could be looking at, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, DJ Buzzy. CR7 first landed the foot on the ball and got elevated and took the placement. Yeah. I remember that free kick. I remember that penalty. Why does a contract expire in December? It's to do with Argentinian football, Shah. Argentinian football, it's to do with their contract regulation. Many Argentinian players' contracts expire in December. Except, I think Jonathan David, his contract expires in December as well. It's a technique that clubs use so that they can get more money in the summer. So basically, they know that the contract expires in the 31st of December. Man United might want, for example, Juan Jimenez in June, right, to go on free season with them. So what these teams do, they make sure that the contract expires in December, so they can say to Man United that, if you want Juan Jimenez, you're going to have to give us 2.5 million. It's that kind of thing. It can work. If you want the player, you're going to pay up. You know what I mean? It can work to make a little bit of extra dough on top of that, of course. So basically, INEOS want these young, talented players so we can sell them for money. I hope not, DJ Buzzy, but obviously that is a possibility. And what I've been saying this last 48 hours is that I don't understand why anyone trusts INEOS. I don't trust INEOS. I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt, but trusting INEOS is naive. Trusting INEOS is like, you know what I mean, blindly. Trusting anyone blindly. You don't trust anyone blindly. And I mean, I've seen a section of the fan base trusting INEOS like, you know what I mean, they're the savior, they're the messiah and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trust them as long as I live. Absolutely not. We should expect more areas of weakness, too much scouting of defenders. I always see a red flag when it comes to Argentinian player Di Maria Heinz, but I understand why we're searching in South America. Absolutely, Tybo. Because, for example, Juan Gimenez, right? Juan Gimenez is worth, you know what, we can get him for 2 million to 5 million, right? In Europe, that would be 10 to 15 million easily, 20 million, you know, and that's the thing. It doesn't mean that these players are rubbish, because I believe that, you know what, what's going missing out of European football? European football is losing its essence in regards to the street footballer. The street footballer is going, it's dying, in my opinion. This is why we're getting the competitiveness of the Premier League and of other leagues. It is weakening. It's weakening. Fortunately, the likes of South America still have the street footballer, so to speak. So they still have that grip. If you see Diego Leon, the player we signed for the summer, you look at him play. He's an absolute beast, right? You couldn't get that sort of player for that price in Europe. Absolutely not. So this is something that we're looking at forward. But Man United have to balance it out. As I said, Dusan Vlahovic, someone like that, you know what I mean, from Juventus. You know, we have to balance it out a little bit. You can't just sign these players who are unproven, because it's not going to work. You have to mix it in with a few experienced players as well in Europe. Like I was saying, Man United are very interested in Ederson from Atalanta, of course, which I mentioned yesterday. In yesterday's show, Man United will sign Ederson, and then Man United will spend 3 million on Juan Gimenez. I don't mind that. But I do mind if we just go out and buy a bunch of young players that I've never heard of. That will be a problem, because obviously the Premier League is different to Argentinian league, isn't it? At the end of the day. Big up, Tyborg. Why not left foot? Say, I don't know, Heaven, but we need more. We always have a defensive injury crisis, especially in the left side. Yes, we do. We got Dorgu, we got Diego Leon as left backs. We do need a left-sided centre-back. We have got Heaven, of course, absolutely. It all depends on Luke Shaw, whether Luke Shaw gets fit. I don't think it. I wouldn't trust Luke Shaw, of course. But there are other players, of course. Man United are interested in the sport. Is it the River Plate player as well? I think he's left-footed as well. Maston Twanto, isn't it? And yeah, Man United are interested in left-footed players as well, especially left-sided centre-back as well. Jareth Branthwaite, sorry guys, but Jareth Branthwaite is still on Man United's radar, by the way. He is still a player that Man United adore. Basically, INEOS adore Jareth Branthwaite. He's one of those players that Man United... Jim Ratcliffe is obsessed with Jareth Branthwaite. The biggest fear I have is offering Harry Maguire another extension on the contract. We have to move away from these type of players. We really do. I would rather bring in a Juan Gimenez than keep Harry Maguire. Do you know what I mean? Because Harry Maguire has already signed a contract for an extra year. I don't know why we feel the need to give him extra contracts. I don't know why we're offering Diego Dalot a new contract. Now, apparently, Diego Dalot is wanted by Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Guys, Diego Dalot is wanted by Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Now, is this all spin to convince Man United to give Dalot a new contract, or is this factual? I cannot fathom how Real Madrid or Bayern Munich would want Diego Dalot. I do not understand that, because he's been, I mean, if that's the case, then just play badly, because if you play badly, you're going to get signed up by a major football club. Diego Dalot has arguably been Man United's most disappointing player this season. He's given away endless amounts of goals. Many goals have been down to him. So I cannot fathom how Man United would want to, Real Madrid or Bayern Munich would want to sign Diego Dalot. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely not. I mean, I could be wrong. GK, that Bruno missed a chance for scoring versus Arsenal. That save was incredible. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. Also, the one from, was it Masruri who hit it across and he made say the man of the match against Arsenal was Raya. he was their man of the match. Man United should have won that game against Arsenal, and there you go, absolutely. I feel like they can grab these talented young defenders and midfielders, but we need one experience to pivot. Absolutely, DJ Buzzy. Midfield and striker in the sun. Absolutely. It's factual. We do. As I said yesterday, Man United are searching for a midfielder. Someone like Ederson from Atalanta is someone that they are looking at. They are exploring avenues to sign. But Man United need to mix it up a little bit. And it's exactly what you said, DJ Buzzy. During the Sir Alex Ferguson period, Man United did mix it up a little bit. We did get the young player, and we did bring in the experienced player as well. It is all about balance. It's all about balance. You can't just sign 11 young players for £2 to £4 million and then, expect us to challenge for major honours, of course. Shah, I hope we're Manchester United. I hope we are Manchester United still works. Slowly, Shah, slowly but surely, we are Manchester United is slowly going down. As I spoke about a couple of weeks ago about culture at football club. For example, Everton have culture. Ipswich have culture of losing, right? For example, no disrespect to those teams. But for example, they all have a culture of losing. And their culture of losing gets passed down generations. It gets passed down generation to generation to generation. Now, Man United's historical achievements, right, are going to start being forgotten about by new generations. We're literally a generation away from people not being alive when Man United won the league. You know what I mean? And won, you know what I mean? In 2013. 2013, for goodness sake, right, was 12 years ago. Right? So eventually that is going to start looking at the distant past. And eventually when that comes, that's when the culture starts to change. That's when Man United, serial losers. A bit like Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur, serial losers and things like that, That Atletico fans are so cocky. I can't forgive the slurs. That's Lucifer. This Atletico fans. What did they do, GK? I didn't really see what happened, to be honest with you. What did they do? Leeson. We need more warrior players like Ugarte, not just players who come for the money. Absolutely, Leeson. Spot on, my friend. Spot on. GK, so I think you saw Nottingham good run with decent investment. Low Aston Villa. So saying we can do that. Well, they're not great difference in abilities are not too much. Just a few players set in with Amarim. Yeah. Anything is possible, GK. If you get the recruitment right, if you get everything right, which we haven't done over the last few years, anything is possible. Look at Nottingham Forest. Look at Bournemouth. You know what I mean? These teams play good football. They score goals, and they're doing better than us this season. So, and they, you know what? They're less attractive than Man United, theoretically, of course. But you know what? What I would say is that if we get our recruitment right, I think Man United will be all right. I think Branthwaite, Branthwaite. Now, the good thing at Revert 7, the good thing about Branthwaite is that we didn't sign him in the summer. And I actually applauded INEOS for not signing Branthwaite in the summer, right? And ended up going for Eleni Euro, of course. So what I would say is that now it was worth 60 million. According to Everton, which was ridiculous, 60, 70 million was the price tag in the summer. As I was speaking about Branthwaite a lot in the summer, of course. According to Everton, he's worth 60, 70 million. But he's not. He's worth 20 to 30 million. That is how much he's worth, right? If that. And I think Man United could quite possibly get him for about 30, 35 million now, because Everton are going to be problems with their stadium, the new stadium, FFP and things like that. So hopefully, you know what I mean, we might be able to get a deal for that. But he wouldn't be my first choice. I like him as a player, but I don't think he'll be my first choice, in my opinion. Who's Luke Shaw? I don't know. Have you ever heard of him? He sounds like a boat, the Luke Shaw. Absolutely. He moves as slow as a boat, that's for sure. And Mason Mount, those scrubs need to leave the club. Absolutely. Yeah. We give Mason Mount a chance. We give him a chance. We don't diss players. It's a low IQ when you start calling people names. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is not America. Let's all forget about Luke Shaw, please. Absolutely. We'll forget about him. But let's not insult the lads. Absolutely. Martinez says, and heaven for next season, I think. Maybe add one more academy player. Absolutely. Definitely. I think Man United have a great future in regards to the future of the youth coming through. We've got great players coming through. And I think that Man United could quite possibly get the likes of Luke Shaw and Mason Mount at the football club and bring in a couple of more youngsters and stuff like that. Hopefully we do. I hope so. That is the overriding feeling for me, is that we need to end the relationship between these players who don't play football, who sit on the bench and don't do nothing. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Tyborg. Maguire is just slightly better compared to the terrible player he was before. He's not good enough, and we should let him leave. The problem is, Tyborg, is that we gave him a new contract just recently, and now we're looking to give him another extension to that contract. This is why I don't understand, right? Because he has not achieved anything. Contracts should be rewarded for achievements. That's what I firmly believe. Contracts should be awarded for achievements, not, you know what I mean? Oh, he played a couple of good games here and there. They should be awarded for achievements. We've given him an extension. Why do we feel the need to give him another contract? Why do we feel the need to give Dalot, Tyborg, Dalot another contract? We all know that he's using Real Madrid and Bayern Munich as leverage to help his reputation, so that we go, oh, we better give Dalot a new contract. Did you see the game against Arsenal at the weekend when he got the ball on the left-hand side and he kicked it out into touch? Madness. How close are we to Ederson transfer? He's on Man United's transfer wish list, Revert 7. How close we are, you know, how long is a piece of string at the end of the day? One thing's for certain, you'll be hearing a lot about Ederson in the summer, right? And you will see a lot of deals that you'll be like, what? Who? When? How? You'll be like that. And that is what's going to be. And that's what I'm hearing anyway. Ederson is high on Man United's list. And Man United have inquired about the possibility of signing Ederson in the summer. Of course, around 60 million euros, guys. Now, what I'm going to do with me and with everyone, what everyone should do is that we wait and see. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we've seen a lot of talk. Now is the time to walk. You know what I mean? And I want to see what happens in the summer, of course. Let's see what goes on, of course. Martinez won't be back until December or January next year. Wow. Mad, isn't it? We need another player. Beef Bully, what's going on? Sal, do you think that the new ground is bullshit? Do you? Don't get fooled. Sal, think that the new... I've not got fooled, Booth Bully. If you read my Twitter page, if you watch the tweets, if you watch this program, this show, I've not got fooled once. I've never jumped up and down and celebrated a new stadium in my life because I don't believe that is what we need right now. I don't. I think ultimately Man United need a future stadium in the future, but we have to look at the reason why we're moving stadium. What's the reason why we're moving the stadium? Because we haven't upheld the Old Trafford. We haven't looked after Old Trafford. The Glazers have let Old Trafford rot. Who facilitated the Glazers? INEOS. So, you know what? I don't feel happy. I don't feel like some people are doing. They're celebrating like it's the, you know what I mean? We've won the Champions League. Stadiums don't win Champions Leagues. Atletico Madrid, as far as I'm concerned, have not won the Champions League. They've got a beautiful stadium, not won a Champions League. Tottenham have not won a trophy, have a beautiful stadium, have not won the trophy. So what I would do is this. I would explore that route. I will go down that road when it comes. When the stadium's built, I'll go down that road about being excited. At the moment, I concentrate what's going on the football pitch. What's Man United doing on the football pitch? Because ultimately, you know what? You're successful. You accumulate money. You can build a stadium anywhere with your own money. And that is the most important thing for me, is Man United being successful on the football pitch. Shah, oh yes, with the ACL, damn, we need another defender for sure. But with INEOS, they won't bet. INEOS are clueless. Jim Ratcliffe is clueless. I don't know if anything, of course. Stretford, who is your money on UEFA Champions League, Europa Conference League, please, Sal? Champions League, I can't look no further than Real Madrid, Beef Bully. I'm going to shock some people. It's either Real Madrid or Aston Villa. I know that sounds like a shock. It's a shock, guys. But I think Aston Villa will knock out PSG. That's my dark horse, right? Real Madrid is, I think we're in the Champions League again. I just can't see anyone beyond. I don't be surprised if it's like a El Clasico or something like that. But you know what? I can't see beyond Real Madrid. In regards to the Conference League, Chelsea will win the Conference League. In regards to Europa League, Man United. Man United, come on, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so annoying. Absolutely, it is annoying. Sure, should be sold to Spain or Italy, where the league is not so physically demanding. This appeal applies for Mount too. It probably could apply for Martinez as well, Tybor, because, you know, we're going to have to come to, you know, start facing reality that Martinez is injury prone. You know, we can't afford to have players that are out for months, not only weeks, they're out for months, isn't it? We can't afford to have those type of players at the football club anymore. I like Martinez. I think he was a future captain for Man United, but I just think like the way he plays is always prone to get injuries like he's been getting. And now he's starting to get them more often. This is another reason why I wouldn't give Maguire a new contract, because now he's starting to get injuries more often and he's missing tonight, of course. So, I would say that, you know what? It's about time we just got new players in now, I would say. Absolutely. Let's read some quotes from Ruben Amorim from yesterday's press conference, guys. Of course, couldn't do the press conference yesterday, but let's read some quotes in regards to, firstly, Patrick Dorgu. Obviously, I saw Ruben in Sporting before he came, and I could see the ideas, a very attacking system, says Dorgu. I've settled well into Manchester United. The training are good, and I'm going well with the team. He's been brilliant. To be honest with you, Dorgu's been brilliant over the last few games. When he's been playing, I think Dorgu has been absolutely phenomenal for Manchester United. I do believe that. I think he's been brilliant. Fair credit. In regards to Ruben Amorim, if we're being honest, everybody is underperforming. I include myself in that. You are talking about players like Casemiro who've won everything. All these players can play so much better. We have to change his mind. There you go, guys. Is that a clue that Casemiro might play tonight? Is that a clue that Casemiro might play tonight? It could be. Subtle hint there. Mason Mount is too soon in regards to his injury, of course. As I said earlier, Lenny is out. Maguire cannot play this one, but I hope to have him for Sunday. Manu Ugarte is on the squad. Great news. Manu Ugarte might be playing tonight. We do need Manu Ugarte. Manu Ugarte is a very, very important player for us, of course. Patrick Dorgu said, obviously, the connection with the other players, the midfielders and number 10s, a lot of deep runs and movement. In regards to the tactics of Ruben Amorim, of course, the famous Ruben Amorim tactics that everyone keeps complaining about. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy, to be honest with you. Ruben Amorim said in regards to the Jim Ratcliffe relationship, he's not going to say anything bad, so this is pointless, to be honest. It's really good since day one. We are blunt and honest with each other. I've always felt the support of the board. I cannot tell you the conversations, but they are clear and honest conversations. And yeah, as what Jim Ratcliffe said the other day. As Jim Ratcliffe said the other day, he said that, you know what, he told him to F off, didn't he? Basically, he told him to F off, didn't he? That's what Jim Ratcliffe said, of course. In regards to the stadium, it's exciting, but it's a long way off, as I said, exactly. I'm focusing on the moment, of course. In regards to Ruben Amorim, we have a clear plan to address next season. We have Europa League, and also you can reach the Champions League. You never know. We have a plan. We know where we're in a difficult moment, but the most important thing is having a plan, that knowing which players we need to bring. And there you go, guys. There you go, in plain sight, live in living color. There you go. That is evidence that we are going to sign some players. Of course we are. We're not going to leave it like that, of course, guys. Absolutely not. Now, one thing I would say, guys, and I'll say this to everyone. I'm seeing a lot of people just target Jim Ratcliffe, right? Jim Ratcliffe is a problem, right? But the biggest problem at Man United is the Glazers. And I'm seeing some people using, like, criticizing Mount, criticizing Shaw, criticizing Maguire, never mentioning the Glazers. And that's when I know that, are you really Man United if you're not getting the Glazers? The Glazers are the problem. The Glazers are the biggest problem, because if the Glazers left the football club, it would be like a domino effect, right? Jim is a problem. Don't get me wrong. He's a problem, right? INEOS are a problem, but it remains to be seen what goes on. But the Glazers are the biggest problem in the football club. And if I never see you say Glazers, 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 then I question your loyalty to Manchester United. Because at the moment, I'm seeing a lot of people question English players, English owners and stuff like that. And that just gets out of the realms of taking things seriously. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, at the end of the day. The Glazers are the problem in this football club fundamentally. The Yanks are the problem in this football club fundamentally, right? And if we remove the Glazers, the domino effect, the money that will be lost potentially for INEOS will be fundamental, be huge. So at the end of the day, have a balanced opinion. And that I'm not talking about in general. Have a balanced opinion. Don't target one person, and that is your target, and that's it at the end of the day. Thibaut Courtois is the big reason Real Madrid does well, not conceded. He's the type of goalkeeper, GK. You're absolutely right. He's the type of goalkeeper that Manchester United need. As I said, the domineering type of goalkeeper, not them clowns that we have in goal now. Domineering goalkeepers like Courtois and the likes of Donnarumma and players like that. Do you know what I mean? Those type of players. Do you know what I mean? You have to have. You know what I mean? And we need a dominant. The goalkeepers have done well from us in history. Have always been the tall, domineering goalkeepers. Van der Sar, Peter Schmeichel, these type of goalkeepers. And Courtois, he's the best goalkeeper because the thing with Courtois, right? He could do everything, everything. You know what I mean? There is, and he's like a wall, absolutely. Tybo, I'm happy to see the change in our transfer tactics. It was it's about bloody time, absolutely. The Woodward times buying expensive big names, the big egos are behind, and it's absolutely great comment, Tyborg. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. We've been there with these players, with these expensive players, astronomical amounts of wages, etc. We've been there, won the t-shirt. It's now we got to try a new direction. A new direction. What's the overriding fact about Manchester United, guys? And only those who understand Man United understand this, right? Look at the history of Man United. Peter Schmeichel, Ronnie Johnson, Henning Berg, David May, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What's the overriding thing about those players, guys? Even Cantona to an extent. These are relatively unproven players, right? You can only pick one or two players out of that you could say that were proven. You know what I mean? Roy Keane was a big money buy back then. Andy Cole was a big money buy back then. Things like that. Do you know what I mean? You could bring that in. But when you look at the team of Man United and you look at how Man United was built, Steve Bruce, the likes of Steve Bruce, you know what I mean? Gary Pallister, the likes of Gary Pallister, Dennis Irwin coming from Oldham. And, you can think about that. Think about that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? We've thrived when we purchase players that have really you've been like, who? Really? Why did we sign him? Throughout history, this has been the key to Man United's success. We've we bought the odd great player later on because we had to, because other teams had money. But ultimately, we bought through young players or we bought players that are relatively why are we buying him? You know what I mean? Why are we buying him? Even when we bought Michael Carrick, even when we bought Dwight York, people are like, why are we buying them for? Why are we buying them for? It's all to do with what fits into the system, like a puzzle. What fits into the system? Do you know what I mean? Shah, I would love every player at Man United to pull off the international break so they don't get injured. I would as well, Shah. Don't get why people are complaining that De Ligt and Xerxes aren't called up. I'm happy about that, Shah. I'm over the moon. I hope that Ugarte doesn't go. I hope they all stay at home. We don't need no international football. We've had enough international football over the last year or so. We don't need any more international football. It's enough. You know what I mean? Ugarte will end up going to South America. He's just come back from injury. We don't want that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's too much. Revert 7, we are all good before the Glazers. We are on the right trajectory. I still can't believe that then the government allowed the sale to happen. Exactly, Revert 7. Exactly. And this is what I'm talking about. Me, I'm very awake, right? I'm very awake to people who claim to be Man United fans, but they have the way about them, Kick that bum out, that scrub, Mount, sure. F Jim Ratcliffe. But I never see get the Glazers out. Why don't I see that? Because at the end of the day, they are the owners of the football club. Is it because they're American? You know what I mean? What's going on? We need to kick those Glazers to the curb. Before the Glazers came in, as you said, Revert 7, before the Glazers came in, Man United was self-sustainable. Man United made their own money. Man United probably the richest club in the world. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And we could have bought any player we wanted to. If we wanted to, we could have bought any player we wanted to, guys, back then. Do you know? So the Glazers are the biggest problem at Man United. And to be honest with you, if the Glazers leave the football club, a knock-on effect will happen. The Glazers are like a big piece of that wall, right? There's a big wall in front of us. And there's one brick you take out will make the wall fall. And there, the Glazers are that brick. If we remove that brick, the wall will fall. Revert 7. So, who's your favorite goalkeeper apart from Schmeichel and Van der Sar? It's either Peruzzi or Oliver Kahn. Revert 7. Peruzzi or Oliver Kahn are my two favorite goalkeepers of all time, other than Schmeichel and Van der Sar, yeah. Those are my two faves. Yeah. I was lucky to be raised in a time when we had great goalkeepers everywhere. You know, England had great goalkeepers. They had Ian Walker, didn't they? Tim Flowers and goalkeepers of that ilk, of course. Even the likes of Shaka Hislop were great goalkeepers and stuff. Every team had great goalkeepers back when in the 90s and go. You can go through every single one of the teams in the Premier League. You say even Leeds had Nigel Martin, you know what I mean? And you know, you just go through it all and you think, wow, you know what? Steve Grisovic of Coventry, and you know, they all were good goalkeepers in them days. You know what I mean? I would say. But in regards to all time, Oliver Kahn probably. If it wasn't a player played for Man United, I think Oliver Kahn was up there with Schmeichel, and I think Peruzzi was a great goalkeeper as well. Sure. I think for the past 12 years, United brought talent, but not with the right attitude. Yep, absolutely. Like Ravel Morrison. It's exactly what I've been talking about in the show for a very long time in this show, for a very long time. And I spoke about what Alex Ferguson used to do. Alex Ferguson didn't used to just sign the players, he used to sign the person. And it's famous that Alex Ferguson used to get to know the family, get to know the person before he signed the player. Recently, especially in particular over the last 12 years, Man United haven't done that. Man United have signed players based on what they see, not what they hear, not what they know. And that is what Man United need to do in the future. It's not just about buying the most talented players. Otherwise, Man United back in the 90s would have bought great players. Remember in the 90s what players were available, guys? Let's think about Man United in the 90s. Imagine like United signed, for example, Stan Collymore from Nottingham Forest. Right? Imagine they done that. Imagine they signed Dennis Bergkamp from Arsenal. Imagine they signed, you know what I mean? Certain players fit certain systems, certain personalities, fit certain football clubs. And that is something we got to do in the future. As I've been saying for a long time. Yeah, he was good. Gianluca Buffon was good. I still don't put him like Oliver Kahn and Peruzzi, in my opinion. I mean, in my opinion, in my humblest of opinion, I still don't. Longevity, Buffon. Legend, 40-something years old, of course. A longevity would be Buffon, but in my favourites, it's Oliver Kahn. Definitely Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn was so underrated, mate. Honest to God, Oliver Kahn was incredibly underrated. What a player he was. What a player he was. Absolutely. I can go on all day about, you know, players that I've been brought up with and great players that I think are great. You know what I mean? Who I wished played for Man United and stuff like that. I can go along. Like you know what? Not many people know about the 90s and stuff like that. A lot of people have been supporting Man United recently. They don't do their history and research and stuff like that. So I like to bring in the players of the past. I do. Because I think that football was better then. I think football's regressed incredibly. In particular, the striking market, the strikers these days are not as good as they used to be. The attackers are not as good as they used to be. The defenders are not as good as they used to be. The goalkeepers are not as good as football's not as good as it used to be. Football's regressed. Do you know what I mean? Good morning, Tribune. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Riva said, imagine if we bought Collymore instead of Cole. I don't know. Revert 7 and Butterfly Effect. Collymore's a great player when he played for Nottingham Forest. But Andy Cole was the best player in England at the time. Andy Cole was the best striker because Andy Cole scored 40 goals for Newcastle in one season. 44 for Newcastle in one season, guys. Andy Cole was world class. Collymore was a great player. Andy Cole was world class. And that is what I'm talking about Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson had a knack of picking the right player. And Andy Cole, of course, was a big reason we won a treble. I mean, I'll never forget the goal against Tottenham in the last game of the season to win the Premier League. I'll never forget the goal against Juventus at the Stade degli Alpi. I never forget these times. You know what I mean? I never forget Andy Cole and what he achieved and what he did at Man United. I don't think Collymore could have done that. I don't. At the end of the day. Who could have improved Man United? I mean, I think the only players that could have improved Man United back then, let me be honest with you guys, the only players that could have improved Man United back then, Alessandro Del Piero, Zinedine Zidane, those type of ilk of players could have improved Manchester United. That's what I would say. Del Piero, Zinedine Zidane. I can't think of many who would have improved. There were great players at Juve at that time. Inter Milan, of course, had R9 and they had Zamorano and they had the Zanetti. Tell a lie, Zanetti was a good player. I think Zanetti was a good player on the left. Tell a lie, he was a good player as well. So, do you think possession era is fading away? I think football's fading away. I think football is not as good as it used to be. And I feel sorry for the people who didn't witness football back then, man. Confimed would have been a disaster. He probably would have got injured. Absolutely. And that is what I'm talking about. Attitude, isn't it? Attitude and personality. I don't think he has the attitude and personality that Andy Cole had. We seem to be more directness, carrying the ball from the midfield, etc. Yep. Oliver Kahn was a great goalie, but he is not really liked outside Munich. Strange character, but he's a very good goalkeeper back there. Why is he not liked, Tyborg? I've heard about that. I know he done German television back in the day. But why is he not liked? Fantastic goalkeeper. I'm lucky to have seen him live. I thought he was an absolute monster. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen, because I always wondered why Germany never played Oliver Kahn, because they never played him. I mean, I remember they played him a few times. They played him against England, 5-1, of course. They played him against England a few times, but they've never really stuck to Oliver Kahn, have they? And even though Oliver Kahn was a fantastic goalkeeper, I always wondered, because he used to carry Bayern sometimes, He used to carry Bayern, and, I think he's brilliant. Brilliant saving penalties, saving goals, everything about him. He was a beast. I know he was a bit of a nutter. I know that. He was a bit of crazy in the goal. I know he used to shout and scream and stuff like that, but one of my favorites. And the same goes to Manuel Neuer. Maybe, is it a Bayern thing? Is it a Bavarian thing? Is it that? I don't know, but yeah. But I think Oliver Kahn's the greatest goalkeeper I've seen in Germany. Sorry, I think he's the greatest goalkeeper I've ever seen. I've seen all of them. I've seen Lehmann. I've seen Kopke. I've seen these players. You know what I mean? I have seen great German goalkeepers. Do you know what I mean? And I think that Oliver Kahn is the best goalkeeper that I've seen in Germany. Cole took a while, but once he got going, he was at the bench. Yeah, absolutely. Revert 7. Absolutely. They say all goalkeepers are nutters. You have to be. I was a goalkeeper, guys, by the way. When I was a kid, I started as a goalkeeper, but then I grew out of goal because I didn't grow tall enough. I was too short. Yeah, I'm too short. I can't be a goalkeeper. I became a defender. Bit as underappreciated, don't hear his name about. Yeah, it's recency bias, Shah. A lot of when you think about the greatest teams of all time, it should be Man United players should dominate it. Because Man United dominated the league for 26 years. So Man United should dominate the Premier League all-time 11. Cantona, Cole, all these players, right? Ronaldo. But they want to put their Arsenal players, squeeze their Arsenal and Man City and Liverpool players in there. That's what they want to do. You know what I mean? But none of them have dominated the league like we did. You know what I mean? Recency biased, of course. And Andy Cole didn't take penalties. Andy Cole. He didn't take penalties. You know what I mean? And still is up there as one of the top scorers of all time. Shearer took penalties. Take away Shearer's penalties. Then you'll see where he is in the table. Absolutely. Guys, I want to thank you, everyone, for joining me today. You're absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. No chatterbox tonight. I'm doing a live watch-along tonight, of course. So I'm going to take a rest. But I will be back for the watch-along tonight for Manchester United's crucial game against Real Sociedad, of course, guys. Massive games. We're getting rid of it. I'm getting ready for it. I'm very nervous, of course. I'm anxious for this game. I just want it to start, and I want Man United to win and get through. I know we won't make it easy for ourselves. That's what we do. We never make it easy for ourselves, do we? That's what Man United do at the moment. We seem to we'll probably make it hard for ourselves, won't we? I'm expecting that. As long as we get through, that's the main thing. And as long as it doesn't bloody go to extra time and penalties, guys. I don't want it to go to extra time and penalty. I'm tired of extra time and penalties. We don't need that. Cut it out, bruv. We don't need that at the end of the day. Hopefully it goes well. I say Man United win 3-1. Of course, Tyborg said 2-0. Other players, let me know your scores down below. Drop your scores, drop your lineups in the comment section below. Please don't forget to put your notifications on as well, guys. Really important you put your notifications on. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Nearly on 9,000 subscribers. We're getting there, guys. Keep smashing like, keep spreading the word. Much appreciated to you. You're all legends. And the members, thank you so much for becoming a member. Great content coming very soon. Very, very soon, guys. I've got some great content coming for you guys. Believe it. And guys, I'll see you later for the watch along. Squeaky bum time. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you then. Peace.